In case you guys haven't used your tickets yet, this video will be talking about what you can pick up with the new year 2022. Now, I think this is a ticket I'm like very confident, but if it isn't, I screwed up, but I'm pretty sure this is the right ticket. So anyways, what are the choices you can pick from this, assuming you guys haven't yet. Now, before we begin, if there is someone you guys want or someone you guys are missing, go ahead and pick them. For the most part, pick the ship that you guys are missing because it's better that way and you will save time. Okay, so with that being said, if some of you guys have all of them missing or you don't know what to pick, this video will cover which one you will get the most value out of, assuming you guys are missing all of these. Alright, so let's begin. Shoukaku. So Shoukaku right here is a really good carrier. She has a skill that makes you do 10% more damage after she airstrikes. So everyone that goes after her gets a damage increase for whatever they're doing. So very good ship. Pairs well with Zuikaku, but not as useful compared to her sister Shoukaku. So regardless, she is a really good ship. Now, she isn't in the premier setup, but you can still do some neat things with her, assuming you're running like a full IJN setup with like Nagato and stuff like that. You can get a lot of value from this ship. So highly recommend. If you guys are missing Shoukaku, definitely get her. Should be good at bossing, decent at mobbing, assuming you have her sister as well too, but for the most part, really good bosser for whatever you need for most things. Now, Zuikaku, her sister, doesn't get a buff to the team, but she has a buff for herself. Really good attacker. If you have her with her sister, definitely pair them up. Never run her solo, unlike her sister where you can run her solo. But if you have her sister and you have and you're missing Zuikaku, you can definitely pair up these two together and run like a Nagato or something and do a lot of damage. So not a bad choice here. But I say if you have to pick one of the other two, I say definitely go with Shoukaku. Now Malin. She's okay, so there's a special ship. She's not super great in PvE. She's not. But that's not the reason why you wouldn't want to take her here. You don't want to take her because she's in a light pool. And if you're in a light pool, a lot of people do daily pulls in the light builds. So if you do daily builds in the light pool, whatever, eventually you're gonna hit Malin. Like maybe it'll take a couple months, weeks, days, years even, but you'll eventually get it because you get 365 attempts a year for light, and it's a 7% pool, and then there's like what, I don't know, like 10 light SSRs in there. So it's a low chance, but there's a chance that you still could get her. So I would skip on Malin. Not to mention her PvE performance isn't the best either. So I would definitely say don't go for Malin unless you're missing her or you like her, then go for it. Now Victorious, she's in the middle ground right now. She does have assault carrier. She does beef up your damage for battleships and heavy armor and whatnot fights. So she's not a bad ship for tough heavy armor fights like Hermit. So if you guys are missing something for like just damage dealing, assuming we get Hermit again on rotation, she is a good choice. Otherwise, for the most part, for just general things, she's not like super great, very inconsistent with the assault carrier. Not to mention there aren't many mobs or in the game that are heavy armor battleships or whatever, just like boss nodes and whatnot. So I wouldn't say I would use her there. And even if you are going into a heavy armor fight, there's like just better damage dealers out there that are easy to get, like Enterprise and Arc Royal. So I would just pass on this altogether. But if you're missing her or like her again, go ahead and grab her. Now Tirpitz here. Tirpitz is one of those ships where she's a good standalone. If you need like a really good battleship that just like gets the job done and whatnot, she is the way to go. But here's the thing though. We just finished Ulrich's event, and Ulrich is a very, very powerful battleship that's KMS as well too. So if you're gonna run a battleship or whatever, for whatever reason, you're better off running Ulrich. Now you could use Ulrich and Tirpitz together, but you're debuffing Tirpitz because of her skill, where if there's other battleships on the map, then it doesn't really work. However, if you want to use like Tirpitz in one fleet and Ulrich in the other fleet, Ulrich can boost up Tirpitz to make things easier. So Ulrich here, Tirpitz here is a good choice. Not to mention, out of all these choices here, all these are like from event special builds. So like, let's see, not this event, but like the previous event. I'm not sure. Yeah, previous event. it was like mostly carriers and whatnot, right? You're gonna see like Essex, Illustrious in them in the pool a lot in Enterprise, but you won't see Tirpitz here. Tirpitz only shows up usually when there's like a battleship event. So I'm gonna assume, and it's bad to assume, but I'm gonna assume that the next event there's not gonna be a battleship. There could be a battleship. I'm not talking about the rerun, but I'm talking about like the next new event. I don't think it's gonna be a battleship, but it could be a battleship. So if it isn't, then you won't see Tirpitz in the collateral banner, so it would be much difficult to get. So I believe Tirpitz is the best choice here. Not to mention, I don't think she drops some Divergent chessboard. I'm like very confident on that. But if I see like a correction or something, I'll go ahead and post it on a video and like somewhere on the screen for you guys. But I don't think Tirpitz can be farmed because if I recall correctly, you get her from the shop. So you can't really get her from like anywhere else except the gacha pool. And she's in the heavy pool, so it'll be much more hard to get. So I think she's a really good pick here. Illustrious, you can get her multiple ways nowadays. She's a really old ship. Metal exchange, special pool. There's also like Chinese New Year's and like New Year summer picks or whatever. She's in here a lot. You're gonna see her a lot. There's a lot of ways to get her, so definitely skip on her. However, she is a good ship for just defensive whatnot. You can also run her very DPS oriented as well too, assuming you have the AP rockets that you can get from PR4. You can equip her with those. Otherwise, for the most part, there's many ways to get Illustrious, so I would pass on her. And as for Essex, again, special pool. There's multiple opportunities to get her. As for her performance nowadays, she's been overshadowed a lot. There are better carriers in the game as of right now. Most of her damage doesn't come from her airstrikes or whatnot. It comes from her dot damage. So for the most part, she's not that useful. The only time you see much use from Essex is like if you're doing like super evasive fights where the enemies is like super difficult to hit. Then you'll probably get some value from Essex because the dot damage will always apply and tick down on the boss or whatever. That's where you get value. But there's not many fights in the game as of right now where that is an issue. The only one I can think of right now is Hermit because of her purple status buff she gets. Not to mention she's 5 levels higher than the highest level ship in the game as of right now. Or if you're going for like super top levels in challenge mode where you're fighting level 150 enemies that are very difficult to hit, you can get some value there. Otherwise, for the most part, Essex isn't like super crazy. You can also use her in World 13 and 12 as well too, assuming you don't have anti-air. But again, there's many ships nowadays that have anti-air built into them to deal with the World 12 and World 13, so you won't see much value out of that. So the big takeaways here are, assuming you're missing every single ship here, otherwise pick whatever one you're missing, is going to be Shoukaku and Tirpitz. After that, if you guys have these two already, I would definitely go with like Essex, Zuikaku, or Victorious. And then if you have all those 5, then you can pick Malin or Illustrious, but these two have the lowest priority because there's multiple ways to get them, or you'll see them or you'll see multiple opportunities to get them from like these tickets or whatever, like these things right here. Like if I look at an old one, let's say like Spring Festival. Not Spring Festival. Let's go to where is it at? Last year's New Year's. Yeah, she's there again. Also, these two are in there as well too. So, definitely this time around, I'd say is gonna be Shoukaku and Tirpitz, assuming you guys don't have these two already, and then Zuikaku, Victorious, and Essex, followed by Malin and Illustrious. So, hope that answers some questions for you guys. Assuming you guys haven't used your tickets already. And I'll see you guys next video. Good luck.